Welcome to a product design question today. So we have a quick question for you, but before we get started, do you want to quickly take a minute and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. See, I used to solve problems from my graduation itself, from the problems which I had observed in my day-to-day life. In that lane, when I was building these products, I got some problems. I was lacking some electrical background, so I stayed for to take some mechatronics course. But at that time, I was having some health issues and got back to my home. And at that time, there were few openings in this government organization, so I joined there. And again, after that, I was not sure about which role fits to me. Again, by doing some research on LinkedIn and all, I got to know about this product management role, and it offers more space for problem solving and design. So I thought this would be my best career. So I opted in this.
Awesome, great. So we will get started. The
Yeah.
question for today is you have to design a product which is, let's see, a bookshelf for children.
Oh, okay. Bookshelf. Uh, First I'd like to ask some clarifying questions. Firstly, uh, so whether this bookshelf for children is going to be in a home or in a school?
Let's assume it's going to be in a school.
Okay. So is this going to be placed in a library or for each classroom? I would prefer this going to for each classroom only, because nowadays too many books were being carried by the students, so their backbone is being affected by these books. So I would like to go with each classroom. Bookshelves are in each classroom.
I'm going to flip the premise a little for you and say that we want a bookshelf for the library, your first option.
Yeah, sure, no issues. That would be
Awesome.
interesting. Okay. Uh, so, uh, so why we are going to place some bookshelves in library? So, any aim of this thing?
Yeah, let's assume, that we want to increase the reading habit of the kids. And we also
Okay.
want to make sure, the books are kept more organized. Um, the books are organized with less efforts than it takes today, right? So those are certain things that I can think of, but feel free to add more use cases and we can determine if they're
Okay.
good to go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So, main aim is like to increase reading habits of children, right?
Mhm.
So, children in the sense, which age group of children are these? Whether it's some kids or like 0 to 5 or 1 to 5, or it's from 5 to 12, like that.
Let's consider an age group of 5 to 10, 5 to 15, sorry.
Okay, okay, sure. Uh, so my question, I would finalize the question like in this manner. So we are designing a bookshelf for children for the age group of 5 to 15 in a library, that too in a school, and the main aim of this bookshelf would be to increase the reading habits of children, of
Yeah.
these children. Yeah. Uh, uh, just give me a minute to work on this.
Sure.
So I got some doubt here whether the books are being owned by the student. I mean whether the books are being owned by the children or being owned by the school itself.
The books are owned by the school.
By the school. Acha, okay. So first, I would like to come with some users. I mean, so children, if the children are users, I would like to consider their needs firstly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what all their needs will be there? Those I would like to consider them.
Mm-hmm.
So coming with the needs, uh, uh, they are not interested. Maybe they are not interested in organizing those books.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they lack motivation to read any book.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't find competition in reading these books.
When you say they don't find competition in reading these books, what do you mean?
Uh, Competition in the sense, I mean, his friend has read some three books, but
Mm-hmm.
he's still in one book only, like that. In that
Got it.
sense, the
Got it.
competition means.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. Makes sense.
Um, so another thing is like uh, these these bookshelves. These are physical bookshelves only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, these bookshelves needs to be of different various heights. See, from 5 to 15, no. So some age group of 5 people will be at lower height, and other some 15 age group of students will be at higher height. So we need to organize that with respect to various heights. Some
Mm-hmm.
height is also in need,
Got it. Makes sense.
and so, and if there is some any key or like that for that bookshelf, they may forget that key easily because they are children. They may not remember these keys and all, and that is also a need for them.
When you say keys, are you talking about like physical locks and keys or something else?
Or maybe both. Maybe physical keys or some digital key also. Maybe some password thing. They can't
Mm-hmm.
remember that code also.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I would like to conclude the needs up to here, but there may be further needs also. But
Mm-hmm.
as of now,
Mm-hmm.
I could remember these needs only. Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Sounds good.
yeah. After identifying the needs, and I would like to prioritize those these needs and
Mm-hmm.
build the solutions upon these things. So
Sure.
initially, the height is the main criteria that I would like to look into because if they don't reach that easily, reach the bookshelf easily, there would be some friction there. So I would like to consider height as the main aspect,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be my initial need.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the keys would be the second criteria, because
Mm-hmm.
usually this happens more often, like they forgot somewhere or else like that. So I would like to consider this as a second aspect. And the third one would be, uh, they lack some motivation to read books. This is the
Okay.
my third aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And so because our aim is to increase the reading of children, so I would like to organize next aspect as they didn't find. I mean, they don't find competitors. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they don't find any competition there.
Got it.
And so these are the four aspects which I would like to consider as of now. And
Okay.
based on this, I would like to build solutions.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah. See, with respect to height, various we need to organize these bookshelves in various heights. So what we can do is like we'll be organizing these bookshelves in an inclined manner.
Mm-hmm.
So if we organize this in an inclined manner, so any height student can take away these bookshelves easily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any student can be attained to any bookshelf and it can easily be taken away. So
Okay.
this inclined bookshelves are my initial design would be.
Mm-hmm.
And with respect to this keys and key solving, how how I would like to solve this is, yeah, I would like to add some face recognition module for this thing. So as soon as
Okay.
some student comes and stands nearby this by their bookshelf, uh, the bookshelf would recognize his face and automatically opens it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and this would be my second criteria for designing of this bookshelf. So up to now, what I've told is like we need to design bookshelves which will be in an inclined manner, so each separately, and
Mm-hmm.
which operates with face recognition module kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now, for improving this reading habits of children, what I would like to do is. Uh, So I would like to give some score across each bookshelf. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
digital board there. So across each board, across each opening of the bookshelf, I would like to give the scoring of each student. Like I would like to do some gamification at this point. Like
Okay.
if a student reads some three books or two books, I would like to score some 6 pointer. If he has read some two books only, I would like to score some 3 points like that. So that score will be displayed on that bookshelf.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah, and this would motivate the students to read a lot like that. And
Mm-hmm.
to find the competition, I mean, my previous solution would solve this competition also, but
Mm-hmm.
thinking in terms of other ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to find this, we can give some incentives. I mean, in terms of like giving some chocolates or like that to gain this competitiveness. So what whoever scores the highest mark on that on a particular day, so they'll be given some chocolates or like that.
Got
So
it.
yeah, so these are my solutions. So as whole thing, what I would like to conclude is like my bookshelf is going to be placed in a library in an inclined manner. I mean, bookshelves are going to be placed in inclined manner so that any student at any height can take those things. And so instead of this passcode key or something other else, I would like to replace it with the help of this face recognition module. And to motivate the students to read a lot, so I would like to give some scoring across each board, across each
Mhm.
bookshelf, and to find the competitiveness across the students, I would like to give some incentives in terms of chocolates or etc. like that. So this is my solution.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm actually curious about a couple of areas here, so I'm going to ask you a few questions. Let's deep dive into some of these areas, right? So the first one is,
yeah.
how exactly are you going to ensure that the scoring that you're giving to the kids for reading books is accurate and students are not misusing it?
Yeah, good question. So maybe I mean librarian can give this pointer over there. The librarian maybe he'll be observing here and there about which student has studied more time and which student is concentratedly studying like that. So he may give the points there.
Okay. Do you see any shortcomings with that solution?
I mean, we can scale this model to some hundreds of students over here.
We can or we can't?
We can't scale. I mean, the librarian can't observe those many students over there like that.
Okay. I'm curious if you can think about a solution which can scale as well.
Mm, yeah, just give me a minute. I can think of that. Yeah, I got the solution. I mean, first, initially, as soon as the book has been taken from the bookshelf, this face recognition has been recorded, right? So, what I would like to do is like after reading some time, the student came there to keep that book. Before keeping, after he scans his face, it will ask some few questions. I mean, the
Mhm.
bookshelf system asks some questions randomly, like what some concepts in that. So based on that, I would like. I mean, the system would score there.
Awesome. Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right. Any other shortcomings that you can think of this solution overall?
Just let me go with the user journey. Uh, so some student aged some 5, maybe he is studying some fourth class or something like that. So he went into a library to study some some book called APJ Abdul Kalam's book. Uh, so he went to a library and he reached out. He reached out to a bookshelf and with some face recognition, he opened his bookshelf and he pulled the book and read accordingly. And again, when he read some time, and after that, he went to the bookshelf to keep the book. After he has went through this face recognition module, and it asked some questions. And so after that, he has successfully placed that book in the book, and he has closed that bookshelf. And again, maybe he went to his classroom again. So I found no problem here.
Okay, awesome. Um,
Yeah.
can you think of certain metrics using which you will measure the success of this product?
Yeah. Yeah. Just give me some 10 to 20 seconds of time. So I would like to consider two metrics mainly. So after placing this bookshelves, so how many students are using this bookshelves would be the main criteria of my first thing. And second thing is how many I would like. I mean, the retention would be my second criteria. Uh, how many users are going to read repeatedly by seeing their scores and all, by seeing their scores and their I mean, they are how many are receiving their incentives.
Okay, got it. And
Yeah,
how would you measure your usage here in your first metric? What would you define as usage?
yeah. Mm, yeah. See, suppose previously, if there are some, I would firstly I would analyze previously how many users used to come on a daily basis to the library. So,
Mhm.
if there are some 100 students coming to a library, reading, I mean, they are taking from the racks and or something like that, and they were reading the books. Now, after we had placed some their personal this bookshelf, how many are using their bookshelf? That would be my
Mhm.
metric. I mean, previously versus presently. That would be my metric, which I would like to observe.
Got it. Awesome. Anything else before we conclude and move to the feedback?
Uh, no, no, as of no, but I can ask something else.
Awesome. Do you want to take like a quick minute to let us know what you think you did well and what you think you could have done a little better?
Yeah, sure. Uh, maybe I was not clarifying some pointer like whether this is a personal bookshelf or this is some. I mean, anyone can access this bookshelf or not. I forgot to ask that question initially.
Mhm.
Uh, so I moved on to building that question. Uh, so maybe I could improve that thing.
Got it. Awesome. Rakesh, overall, this was a pretty interesting response. And I know, like physical products are probably a little diff, like not expected these days, but thank you so much for attempting it, right? I would say the
Thanks.
overall, the methodology that you used was great. I like the part where you started asking questions. You did not jump into solving. You asked about the age group. You clarified where the shelf is exactly going to be, right? And you also responded to me flipping the scenario because I think you were like a little bit inclined towards putting the bookshelf in the school. So that was great. I think
Yeah,
you jumped pretty soon from like clarifying the questions to the use cases, assuming that only the children are going to be like the users. So you did not spend too much time trying to identify who else is going to be your stakeholders. So I would have also thought about the school administration and the librarian as the stakeholders here. And a little thing that you missed was, thinking about how the children are going to organize the books, right? Because that was also one of the problems apart from reading, which was defined. So I think We
Yeah,
skipped
yeah,
that part a little bit, uh, but you focused on the other portion, and you did pretty well there. So I would say we went strong there, but I think we missed out like one whole other requirement, which was more from the other stakeholder, which is the librarian or the school management standpoint, right? Uh,
yeah,
I like the I like the fact of how you brought in a mix of digital and physical into designing this product, and the whole incentive and gamification methodology was good. That clearly resonates with a child psychology where they're trying to compete in that age with other kids in their arena, and maybe library book reading doesn't give them all of those opportunities. So that's, I definitely feel, will increase the readability or the reading habits among the kids. Um, I would have probably also liked you to think about uh, like different personas within kids itself. There are kids who do not like to read, for whom this would have been like a boost, but there
yeah,
would also be kids who are like very very addicted to reading, and who frequently read, right? So you could have maybe thought about certain ideas for
yeah,
that particular user group, or at least thought about that user group when you were doing like your user personification. So that I felt was did not happen too well, right? Um, but yeah, apart from that, things were pretty well. I like the metrics. You could have gone like a little more deeper into the metrics in terms of defining, how are you going to measure usage? For example, it's going to be a daily active usage. How are you going to compare past usage versus current usage? How are you going to measure past usage? Is that really a realistic measure? Because you may not have those metrics at this point, right? So does that make sense for you to use as a baseline for measurement, or could there be like certain other things like increase of use as people get used to the product? Or but I like the fact uh, where you were going to measure retention, uh, uh, and but again, I was also trying to understand you baseline retention, which I did not feel uh, happened as much in your thinking. But overall, I think very good answer and great attempt. So thank you so much, Rakesh. Um,
thanks.
that's all I had for today.
Yeah, I too agree with that. I mean, I missed some personas as well. I skipped that point.
Cool.
Thanks for my feedback.
Sure. And all the best for your PM interviews.
Thanks, bro.